Breaking tonight, Carly Fiorina trying to turn the tables on Donald Trump. In 2 days, the pair will share a debate stage for the first time. Just last week, Trump attacked Carly's looks in a Rolling Stone article, saying, quote, "Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that? The face of our next president?" Now Carly is firing back. Watch.
Ladies, look at this face. And look at all of your faces. The face of leadership. The face of leadership in our party, the party of women's suffrage. This is the face of a 61-year-old woman I am proud of every year and every wrinkle.
Now, Governor Scott Walker, he came to Fiorina's defense last week and will be on that debate stage on Wednesday. Governor, good to see you tonight. And so you came out with a tweet, you've done it before, and said Trump's personal attacks against Carly Fiorina are plain inappropriate and wrong. It's time for these shameless attacks to end. But they don't end. Trump has made similar comments in the past, and he's made a lot of comments that people find incendiary. And yet the American public, at least a good portion of them, are embracing Donald Trump in a big way. Why?
Well, I think there's a sense of frustration with Washington, and so they're looking for outside voices. But in the end, I think people don't want this out of the next president. What they want is someone who's going to stand up with real solutions and someone who's actually been tested. And that's the case I'm going to make on Wednesday. It's the case I'm going to make every day between now and February 1st when the first caucus votes are cast, and every day thereafter on the way to the nomination, hopefully, and to the presidency. And that is, if you want someone who's been tested, I've been tested unlike anybody else on that stage. If you want someone who actually took on Washington, if you want to wreak havoc on Washington, we've actually got real solutions to do that. And I just believe in the American people. They want someone who is for something, not just against something, and not just about personal attacks. I'm about moving this country forward.
Why did you feel the need to speak out?
And that's why today I'm talking about labor reform.
I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute, but why did you feel the need to speak out?
Well, I just think people are sick and tired of it. You can have your differences. He can make his case. Yeah, stand up for whatever issues you want. I think that was part of the initial appeal, not just for him, but for a couple of the other outsiders, is, hey, there are people who've never been elected to anything. Maybe they're saying things that people hear in bars and restaurants across America. But I think the more people listen to this, the more they realize this is not our party. This is not the country. This is certainly not the country I grew up in. People had clear differences of opinions, but you don't have to trash talk other people to do it. You can stand up and lead. And that's what we're all about. We're about leading.
I know today you got up and you made a bold proposal when it comes to labor, basically promising to do at the federal level some of what you've done at the state level, to get rid of the National Labor Relations Board and to make the entire country a right-to-work country, which would require the approval of Congress, as opposed to just a state here, a state there. Of course, the AFL-CIO came out and said his campaign is floundering, so he does what he always does when he can't think of real solutions. He attacks workers. Your thoughts?
Well, what I attacked was the big government union bosses, and of course they're scared of this. They've been scared of this before. Why? Because every time they tried to intimidate us, we didn't back down. They sent in over 100,000 protesters and occupied our Capitol. We didn't back down. They tried to recall me and my state senators. We didn't back down. They tried to make me one of their top targets last year in the reelect. We didn't back down. What they don't like about this is not just our ideas. They know that I won't back down and actually deliver on this. And what they feel, the big government union bosses, they feel they're threatened because I'll go after them and any politician that they have in their pocket.
What about, let's talk about the poll numbers, because they have fallen in your case. The latest Quinnipiac poll in Iowa puts you at 3%, which is a 15-point drop in 2 months. Trump is at 27%. Monmouth in New Hampshire puts you at 2%. He's at 28%. You were 11% on a national basis early on. Now you're at 4%. Is it time for a change in strategy?
For us, 4 years ago at this point, in the late spring and the summer of 2011, my polls were so low, Time magazine called me Dead Man Walker. We came back and we won that recall election with more votes, more actual votes, and a higher percentage of the vote than we did in November 2010. Why? Because we stuck to what worked. We actually talked about common sense conservative reforms, and then we showed that they worked. I believe that if Americans want someone who can fight and win, get results, and do it without compromising, yeah, these other guys are interesting right now, but in the end, I think people are going to come back to proven results. People can actually lead, and that's what we've shown in Wisconsin. We can do it. We can do it in a blue state like Wisconsin. We can do it in Washington.
Need a quick answer because we're almost out of time, but what's your debate strategy for Wednesday, quickly?
Be aggressive, show passion, show the kind of energy that got us to that recall victory in Wisconsin. And if we can do that, we can win in Washington.
Governor, it's great to see you.
Thank you, Megyn.